Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing today?
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad, Mrs. Hayes. If you give me 30 seconds, I'm shooting out a few more invites as we speak. I just hop back in here so you wouldn't be talking to Finn here whilst I do that.
No worries, thank you. Well, while we have JB here, I figured it would be a pretty good space and time to go ahead and ask if you would want to go ahead and give us like a really short, sweet, simplified intro into Vox and kind of what we're about for any new listeners.
Okay, well, hi, I'm JB, the founder and one of the main devs working on this stuff. So, what is Vox? Vox is a digital platform asset that connects an entire ecosystem and infrastructure of platforms together. So, what does that exactly look like? Well, unlike a lot of other projects which are asking you to, in the future buy token or mint an NFT or something like that to raise money to build something aspirational, we've kind of already largely built most of it. So, the Vox Communications ecosystem comprises, right at the tippy top, one of the very first components that you would always need to protect if you're going to do stuff in the future, which would be your line of communications. Our lead product is Vox Messenger, which is the world's first consumer available post quantum end to end encrypted messaging platform. That included a mouthful of buzzwords, most definitely. And the biggest one amongst them was the post quantum one. What does that mean? It basically means that we're using a type of cryptography that is based on lattice based cryptography that is in orders of magnitude stronger than the current standard, which is used everywhere, which is elliptic curve. Elliptic curve is the standard that is used by almost all of our competitors. It should be noted that Vox Messenger has been demonstrating post-quantum encryption in the real world since 2017, and Apple and Signal have only just announced this year their move to post-quantum encryption. We like to stay ahead of the curve. We're at over 90,000 users in over 100 countries all over the world. One of the other products we have in the ecosystem is Vox Alive, which is our answer to Facebook, which is basically got no ads and no data exploitation. And then we also have Vox Crypto, our secure post-quantum protected wallet that gives you discounted gas transactions prices on Ethereum and Solana. Is also partnered with Transact for native debit card, credit card off-ramping and on-ramping, which is coming out end of this month, as well as a direct wallet simulation of all transactions before they actually take place. That's it. That kind of those three components are already available. You can already go out there and download Vox Messenger from the Google Play Store and use it. You can already go and visit Vox Alive and sign up to the platform and engage with people and start posting content and generating, streaming live video content, etc. And you can already go out there and use Vox Crypto as well. We also have, as part of our ecosystem, what is can only be described as the Adobe Premiere of end-to-end 3D video production. Because, as those of you who are involved in media and content creation will know, 3D content creation, particularly the ability to create it easily and at scale, is one of the big, how do I put this? One of the big incoming icebergs of creation, as it were, which people will be generating a lot of revenue from in the future. Kind of like how content creators are making revenue from being on TikTok and other 2D video, short form video platforms. Now, one of the main purposes of having an entire ecosystem like this under one roof is because we wanted to solve one of the biggest problems in the entire industry, which is how do we stop people exploiting our personal data and making a ton of money off of it when we should be making the money off of it? So what we have inside of this entire ecosystem is effectively the replacement of the current Web 2 standard with applications and systems designed from the ground up to give you ownership of your data. And the reason for this is because from 2026, we're going to be giving every user of every part of our ecosystem the ability to directly monetize their personal data. So what does that mean? That basically means, as opposed to WhatsApp, Signal, Facebook, and every other platform in existence, basically manipulating and scrutinizing your data for their profit, you'll be able to actually control how your data is directly used across the entirety of our ecosystems. This means by you living your life on Vox Alive as opposed to Facebook, you have the ability to monetize that data. Why? Because, as I'm sure you're aware, your Facebook profile was almost certainly used to train ChatGPT in some capacity. And in so doing so, because it's part of the public data sets, they're making millions from your data, especially when it comes to generative AI. What we're trying to do is give everybody the ability to do exactly the same thing themselves. Because at the end of the day, what we all seek is not so much equality as parity. We all want to have the same access to the same resources. We also want to have our intrinsic value properly recognized in the world around us. Yes, Mrs. Hayes.
Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you, JB. I was actually raising my hand because you were kind of answering some questions that I have coming up for you.
Okay.
Which is awesome, actually. I did want to take this opportunity to talk about a few updates that we have that we want to share in regards to questing. If you haven't been around, we did we did upgrade the drip bot within our Discord for just a better overall user experience. So if you haven't checked that out, I highly suggest you go join our Discord. Also, airdrops August 12th. Do not forget that. Mark your calendars. And JB, I wanted to hand the floor to you on this one to give us a little bit of insight on our pre-sale. Oh,
Okay. Oh,
1 second. Sorry. Doolittle. Yes.
No, hey guys, I am so sorry. It was just that you mentioned the drip bot and questing. I believe this also ties in with the question that we are about to go into, guys. But if you will all hold on a few moments when JB goes into that, and you guys will hear about what's going on with the drip bot, because there's going to be a few different changes that is coming up soon. This will be with the ratios, etc., etc. However, this should make it better, more beneficial for you guys. So yeah, just hang tight for JB's updates on that, and we'll circle back to the quests.
okay. Well, thank you for that. Let's talk about tokenomics, because this is one of the things we've been deliberating on and trying to work out for the longest time. Is like, what is going to be the price of this token? How do we get that price? What is the valuation that defends that price? So, just so everybody's aware, I'm actually, as I'm answering your questions, I'm actually recording this via TikTok Studio Creator at the moment, and I will be uploading the video. And I'm actually also doing some demonstrations on screen at the same time, which you guys will be able to pick up on when I upload the recording. And one of the things that you're going to love to see is that we have our tokenomics spreadsheet basically sorted out. So what does this mean? Basically, as we're all aware, there was going to be a pre-sale of the token on September the 26th. The pre-sale of the token will now start next week. And this coincides with us doing a brand activation for the Vox ecosystem and the token launch at the BTC Inscriptions Ordinals show at Nashville on the 24th and 25th of this month. It's also probably at this point I should announce that we've got 5 VIP tickets, which will be put up for grabs with a value of $1,000 each, which will be made available to the community in a capacity. Miss Hayes and Miss Doolittle will cover that off after we've gone through the tokenomics. So how do the tokenomics work? Well, we got a couple of things. We have a total minted supply of 18 billion tokens, which are currently all held in a Squad's multi-signature wallet, which is documented in our Slight document, the evolving white paper, which the link has been shared, but I'm sure will be shared again. And the addresses for that location is also already shared and is a matter of public press. we are allocating 11% of that for an airdrop. I believe it would be the biggest airdrop in Solana history. It's an airdrop of 1.9 billion tokens in total. So how do you qualify for the airdrop? Well, it's very simple. Join the project. Jump on in. Join the quests. There are multiple quests, I believe, which are part of our Discord, which, again, Mrs. Hayes and Miss Doolittle have all been fixing up and making available for everybody. Additionally, our Telegram is also available, so jump into our Telegram. You can also pre-register for our for the airdrop and the pre-sale by visiting distro.vox.energy. Again, that is listed in the evolving white paper, so don't worry if you didn't catch that immediately. It's there, it's listed. So we're making 11% of the total supply available for the airdrop. The airdrop, by the way, will not be dropped on everybody all in one go because it's such a vast amount. The airdrop will be split over multiple phases, and parts of the airdrop will also be available. You will also be able to trigger up to 10 times bonus multiplier on your airdrop by participating in the various phases of the pre-sale. Now, the total pre-sale, the total allocation being made available from the total supply for the pre-sale is 35% of the total supply, which is 6.3 billion, which means the total supply at launch is 8.2 billion tokens. Now, in the pre-sale, the total allocation of 6.3 billion tokens, which is being made available for the pre-sale, is split across 3 phases, with 1.1 billion being made available at an $18 million valuation, which means each token will be going for sale at 0.001 cent. Phase 2, they go up to 0.002, and on phase 3, the final phase, they go up to 0.004. The way to purchase these once the pre-sale is open will be via only one place, ladies and gentlemen, and that will be via the official website distro.vox.energy. At no point ever are we going to post any other address other than distro.vox.energy for the pre-sale of the token on any of our socials. We will be also keeping an eye on all socials to make sure that people are not attempting to post weird and wonderful hijack addresses for this. In order to participate, you would register at distro.vox.energy, and you are able to pay and participate by purchasing purchasing the token by either using Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana. Now, originally, we had planned to make fiat purchase available by virtue of a payment transaction processor. However, because our VoxPay platform is not going to be available until September, we are not going to be using PayPal or Skrill, because the cold, hard reality is that if we did use PayPal or Skrill for any of this pre-sale, there is like a 90% chance that PayPal and Skrill will then decide to hold on to the money, because that's what they do. Now, once the funds are received for each phase, those funds will be immediately allocated to multi-signature wallets with the addresses also made public. They will also be immediately put into reputable staking pools. Why? Here's the reason why. We want to be able to. We want this money to start generating revenue on itself immediately. The reason being is it starts to generate its own form of sustainability without us basically going to the community and asking people to buy more of the token before it's even hit the exchange. Now, the soft muted date for exchange listings, cross fingers, we're doing everything we can to hit this because we're going to be launching earlier, will be September the 26th. Not only will be the exchange listings happening for September the 26th, that is also when the primary distribution of all purchased tokens and all rewarded tokens will take place. So you would basically be setting September the 26th as the time to check your wallet and see that big fat notification that your Vox tokens have all hit, including your rewards allocations as well. Now, I've been in enough projects, and I'm assuming people in this project have been in enough projects to know nothing ever goes smoothly. But just be aware, I am going to be available and I'm going to be on point every step of the way. So if we have a problem during pre-sale, there will be people made available to make sure it can be dealt with. if there is a problem during the distribution of those tokens. Bear in mind also the launch of the distribution on the 26th is going to happen as a live event across all of our socials as well. Again, people will be there, including myself, to make sure things get done and everything happens as required. Now, the you guys are the first to learn of this information. This is the latest alpha on the project, and the information that I've just told you will be getting updated to our evolving white paper over the coming days. But I just ask people to bear with me because it takes a minute, and we are a small and agile team, and I am but one person, so we are going to get that information updated. But here it is. It is stated here on this recorded live space, and moreover, it's also visually indicated via the recording that I'm doing, and will upload on our TikTok channel as well after this show.
Beautiful. I just wanted to give a thank you, JB, first of all, for streaming that. If you haven't given the other socials a follow, please go do that. We've got other people that stick their necks out for our community to run other socials. So the Telegram, the TikTok, anything that you can, just, show it some love. Miss Doolittle, you have a hand up. What's up, love?
I was going to derail the conversation, just since we're discussing when the airdrop is going to be happening, etc., and everybody setting their calendars for when they will be getting their rewards for September 26th. I just want to let everybody know that unfortunately, none of you guys have an excuse to ever forget my birthday, as it's also September 26th. So double set those reminders, please and thank you. Love you all.
It's also my oldest daughter's birthday as well, so we have a lot of lucky numerology running on this, people.
Synchronicity. Wow. Beautiful. So I have some questions for you, JB.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of pressure. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm always ready, baby.
There we go. That's the spirit. All right. So the first question I have for you, I know we went into it a little bit earlier. Maybe now is a chance to go a little further in depth. What specific technology are we implementing in Vox that sets us apart from other digital assets?
The biggest thing that sets us apart from other digital assets or tokens is the fact that we are actually an infrastructure project. So we're not a meme coin, we're not a shit coin, we're not really a utility token either. It's an infrastructure token, which I don't think is actually something that has been properly done on any blockchain as of yet. So what does that mean? Other than us coining a new phrase? Well, basically, an infrastructure token means that it's a token that provides utility across one or more platforms within a unified architecture. And that's what the other than putting money into the liquidity pool, if we look at the use of proceeds, this is what the development costs are all associated with. So all of these different platforms and applications have already been built. And what we're doing is we'll be using the development fund from the token raise to then wire all of these different components together with this token, which basically means that when you have a profile on Vox Alive and Vox Messenger using the blockchain infrastructure that we're building behind this token, which is based on Solana, we'll be able to basically decentralize your entire user profile system. In fact, we can decentralize all of your data in this way, and it means that effectively it moves around with your token holding or your wallet. So that's the primary purpose of it, is to give us a mechanistic way of being able to tie data together, which people can then move around at their discretion, and not only that, be able to prove their ownership of. So it's there to fulfill the next purpose, basically. It's there to give us the next big thing that we need. And if we want to be able to tie people, bear in mind, version 3 of all of our applications are all moving to completely decentralized architectures, which basically means if people are going to want to be able to bring that stuff together, we also do need a reunifying component. And that's where this token comes in, basically. So it's an infrastructure token, ostensibly.
So my next question to you, and this is one that I've received a lot from the community, with the Vox wallet that is in development, does that mean, since we do the post-quantum encrypted messaging, that the wallet platform as well will be post-quantum encrypted?
Yes, it does. Now, there's the current version 1 of Vox Crypto, not Vox Wallet. It's Vox Crypto. There's a bit of confusion there. We have two financial applications. We have Vox Crypto, which is the crypto wallet component, and then we have Vox Pay, which is launching the end of launching in September. And Vox Pay basically gives us the ability to provide people with Visa debit cards, basically. And by combining these two infrastructures, it means that we have seamless fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat. It also means that we are able to reduce the number of fees that people pay in the normal process of off ramping and on ramping, unlike anybody else. And unlike anybody else, because we have both sides of the ecosystem, which, by the way, is backed by DBS and Fiserv and other mainstream financial institutions, of course, including Visa. Because we have that and our own crypto exchange and wallet components, we're able to cut out all of the middlemen. So you're able to have an incredibly seamless and an incredibly cheap, by comparison, experience. And yes, the whole thing is going to post-quantum encryption in the back end. That is one of the key unique selling points of all of our components, is that the entire infrastructure is post-quantum encrypted. It also means we have the world's first banking application that is post-quantum encrypted, unlike anybody else. Not even Lloyd's TSB can say that one.
Amazing. So if you didn't catch that, yes, all of your wallet keys, all of anything that you do within your wallet will be post-quantum encrypted. So that's beautiful.
And more important, sorry, one sec, one thing to add to that, more importantly, the encryption takes place on your handset. So there are no keys stored by us at all. You see what I mean? And your decryption can only happen on your handset. Now, of course, this does mean that there are certain things that you as a user have to understand. This means, what happens if you lose your handset? Well, we do not keep any back doors. So if you lose your handset and you lose your keys, I'm going to be as blunt as I can be. You're fucked. Yeah. So it also means that you are personally responsible for that component. Remember, this is one of the big stings in the tails that people forget now. You know, the big thing about Web 2 was that you were not king. You were a user, and you kind of gave up your data in exchange for a free experience of a kind. The reality is you gave up your data for a bunch of monsters to make billions off of, while you ended up with mental health issues. So what we're trying to do is flip that on its head, basically. We're trying to tip the scales in you, the end user's favor. And the only way to do that is by giving you absolute control. So your keys, they stay on your handset. Your encryption, your handset. Your decryption, your handset. You lose those, you're cooked.
Hey, I mean, with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
Do you have any inside information on the back end of things that you could share with us? Any juicy gossip?
I mean, come on! I just revealed the price of the token and the fact that we're at BTC Inscription in Nashville, and the fact that we got show takeover happening. I mean, come on, guys! You want more alpha than that?
Oh,
Damn!
You
come
know,
on, JB. Look. All right, these guys, I'm gonna vouch for them. Okay, the people in this space right now are very, very loyal. These guys have been here for a while now, supporting, and I don't know. I feel like maybe we can give them just a teensy little bit more, even if it's just like
Okay,
one
okay,
snippet.
okay, 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 okay. So remember, I told everybody about that 3D software that we have, and the fact that, according to, I think it was Reuters, did a report on the market. 3D video content creation is meant to be worth 3.1 trillion by 2030. Well, the biggest problem with that is that there wasn't any software out there that made it cheap enough for anybody and everybody to become a CGI visual effects maven to take on Hollywood until now. I mean, our competitors in the space were charging $3,000 a month for 3D content creation software. And what we're doing is we're only going to be charging $39.99. But to the Vox community, you guys will be able to get it for $9.99 a month. And on top of that, participate, if you want to, on a $200,000 competition which will be split across 3 categories where you can use the software to create the very best of something. So we have 3 categories. For the top prize category is best 2 to 3 minute short film shot entirely volumetrically in 3D using this software. The second category is best product shot in 3D volumetric capture, and the third and final category would be best volumetrically created 3D meme video category. Now the top prize would be $200,000 of Vox token, and then the remainder is split between the other 2 categories. This will be all made official via a beautiful graphic, but this is basically a competition which will empower and encourage 3D content creation, particularly for those people out there looking to start making their mark on TikTok with 3D video before anybody else does. Now the software goes live next week, and I will be doing a demonstration of its capabilities and how easy it is for you to use it as well.
Okay. I think they should be satisfied now.
The hungry hordes are satisfied.
Okay, so can you explain more about passive earning and how that might apply to the Vox ecosystem?
Okay, so one of the things we have to be always incredibly cautious about is how we describe things and how things are portrayed. So this token is not a security. Now, what does that mean? It basically means that if you do not want to get buggered by the SEC, you do not build anything that is promising or guaranteeing profits in exchange for their purchase. And that is something that people have to really understand. We are not promising profits here. We are not promising the Holy Land. And we're not promising that you are going to be able to live forever for free off of something. What we are providing is an ecosystem of products that, if you leveraged them correctly, would provide you a route that would allow you to monetize your data, which would then profit you. So let's get something very straight here. We're not basically telling you that holding your token itself intrinsically is the pathway or doorway to profit. It is not. What is actually the doorway to being able to profit yourself in the future is giving you the ability to monetize your data for an incentive. That's what we're actually doing here, giving you the ability for you to monetize your data yourself. And the token is the kind of electronic digital mechanism that facilitates that. So to answer your question, in a way, there'll be a form of passive income generation, but it is not one that is the ostensible purpose of this token. So what does that look like? So basically, we will be opening our own staking pools and our own mining pools in the future. Again, that will be that is roadmapped in for month 6 of our post pre-distribution. And what does that look like? It looks like a custom smart contract driven staking pool, which will be available on Solana and Ethereum. Now, I can already hear people panicking because it is incredibly hard to do anything on Ethereum without it costing you an insane amount of money because of the gas fees. But one of the things that should be remembered about Vox Crypto, one of our unique selling points, is this incredibly cool pass-through smart contract that we created that allows us to bundle Ethereum transactions into a single transaction while still maintaining the traceability of every single transaction in that wrapped group. So what does that mean exactly? It means that, say, for example, you're working in the States and wanted to send your family in South America some money for friends and family, as an example, and you want to say $50 to, say, 100 people. If you did that on Ethereum at the moment, each transaction cost would be more than the $100 that you're sending each of those people by the time you even get a third of the way through the total 100. What our smart contract does is it wraps them all up into one tidy little optimized transaction that gives you, I believe the transaction works out less than 30% of what you would have paid normally by wrapping it. Now, the other advantage to this smart contract is that you heard me right, it's a pass-through. So it's not like all of these platforms and projects that build a deliberate, and I say it's a deliberate, juicy attack surface that accidentally or is mysteriously hacked by a developer or enterprising hacker to get access to all of that juicy money in crypto before it's redistributed. It's a pass-through smart contract. None of the crypto sits in that smart contract whatsoever. So there is no attacks, there is nothing to attack ostensibly. And not only that, we're always monitoring it and tracking it and tracing it, and we're also watching the transactions on it in any case. This basically means that because we have that capability, this means that we can run staking pools on Ethereum, and actually the losses that you would normally experience because of conversion and transfer and gas fees and transactional fees, they're all effectively removed. Additionally, because these are all within our ecosystem, we can nerf those transaction fees in their entirety, actually. So, in answer to your question, yes, there are forms of passive income generation. However, because we're not a bunch of morons, and we want to ensure that we are SEC compliant and pass the Howey test, the way to look at these and view these is that we are not selling a route to profit here. We're selling a route to you controlling your data and having a way to monetize your data in a way that profits you. Does that make sense to everybody?
Loud and clear. That was perfect. That's also another reason I wanted to have you go into that a little bit, because I know some aspects of the project are more passive leaning, but not completely.
Yeah,
You
I'll
know what
give
I
you an
mean? Like,
example. On Vox Edu, if you're buying courses on Vox Edu is our platform, which is basically Udemy on steroids. The difference being is you can't game it, you can't cheat it by just spinning the videos forward, because the application and platform monitors your actual participation at that point in time in consuming the educational content. And then once you've completed your tests and questions and projects at the end, if you pass, you are awarded a certificate that is minted on the blockchain, and is not just a certificate, but it also contains all of the metadata of your actual participation in that course content during delivery. Now, while you actually get rewarded for being active. You actually get rewarded in token for participation in that, for actually educating yourself. You receive rewards in the form of tokens. And those rewards are scaled based on the level of positive participation during content delivery of the course. You see what I mean? And you can also, even if you have a special skill set that you want to share with people, you can actually create a course for that skill set on Vox Edu and actually sell it. And as people purchase it, you would generate revenue from that.
perfect. So my next question kind of goes into one that SJ commented, and that would be, how user-friendly is Vox for non-technical users, and what steps are you taking to enhance the user experience? And he kind of went into that with a more specific question by asking, can everything that we do be moved to another device?
Okay. So in terms of user friendliness, we are working on increasing that capability. So people have to understand that the building of each of these applications, because as I said, one of the biggest defining things about this project is that we are not asking you for money to build something from scratch. We're basically putting money into enhancing and connecting things which have already been built. And a lot, as I said, Vox Messenger has been around since 2017, gaining users organically. And yes, some components of it are not the most user-friendly at the moment. However, on version 3, which we will be showing examples of the interface design on, by the way, next week as we start sharing, we're going to be doing more and more developing in public. So we're actually going to be sharing more of the UI they're going to be deployed across all of our platform and stuff like that. And by the way, for those of you in the community who have experience in the development of UI and UX, we invite you to comment on the UI and UX that we actually start publishing, because it's best for us to start learning if there's tweaks and alterations that people want being made at that initial crucial design stage. So as we move into connecting the ecosystem, usability is going to massively increase over time. At the moment, they are disconnected systems, which means, yes, you have multiple logons and you have multiple registrations and stuff like that. But as we connect these systems up, you will be moving to single points of logon and stuff like that, which will make it incredibly easy. By the way, because we are not abandoning Web 2 in its entirety, because there is a reason why some things just work better on Web 2 than they do on Web 3. Not everything has to be Web 3. It's kind of like these bubbles that we have, like the AI bubble at the moment, where there's a hard on to putting AI into everything, which just doesn't need it. We are not doing that. We are only using blockchain for where blockchain makes sense, if that makes sense to everybody. Yeah. And this basically means that we can preserve the well-established usability of certain systems in Web 2 while ensuring that their backend and the advantages to be had from Web 3, such as decentralization and interoperability, are underpinning those components. So I would say the simple answer to that question is we are going to be improving it over time, and we are actively going to be seeking the input of our community to assist in that as well. I mean, yes, up until this point, since 2017, this has largely been a one-man show. People have to understand, all of this is ostensibly built by one person and additional teams over time. I mean, Vox Messenger was built almost entirely by myself and just one other guy, and that other guy did not join until I was already 3 years in, you know? So this is the other reason why we're being very transparent and open and honest with exactly how money is spent as well. So one of the things I forgot to mention is that let's talk about use of proceeds, for example, from the token sale. And this again is being published and is also being displayed on my screen. In terms of use of proceeds, we're allocating 40% of everything raised to the liquidity pool, 10% to development, 10% to operations, 20% to marketing, 5% to legal, and 15% to community support. And what does that mean? That 15% for community support, which by the way comes to 2.5 million if we successfully sell out all three phases, it will raise a total of 17.2 million. And out of that 17.2 million, 2.5 million is being allocated to a community program, which basically means money will be made available for community projects in actually enhancing the Solana ecosystem, bug hunting projects, bug bounties. So basically giving back to the community that's helping us. Now, the liquidity pool out of that will end up with an allocation of 6.9 million. And that's what we would be starting our liquidity pools with once we go to exchanges as well. Additionally, we can see in our use of proceeds that that allocation will be used across all revenue streams. So what does that mean? Well, for example, we have a TikTok channel. We are going to be actively generating new and exciting content to go on that TikTok channel, and it will generate revenue. And guess what? The revenue from that TikTok channel is going to be being allocated in exactly the same way. So 40% of TikTok revenues will be going to the liquidity pool. 40% of revenues generated from all other streams connected to this that get monetized will go into that liquidity pool. And I'm incredibly passionate about that because one of the biggest bugbears I've had with projects is how, because the founders themselves are only seemingly interested in their individual payday, they're not thinking of the super long-term sustainability of the project. I'm more focused on the long-term sustainability of the project than my payday personally. I do not need a Maserati. I do not need a Cybertruck. I have no interest in a massive house. And I live fairly modestly. I don't have any interest in changing that whatsoever. What I do have an interest in, though, is seeing the world around me improved, seeing lots of happy, smiling faces, seeing people empowered to say what they feel and live their best realities. That's my objective from this.
And I will say that was kind of an umbrella question that even myself and Miss Doolittle could answer, at least from my perspective on what we are doing to, make the experience more user friendly and just an overall better place for everyone to be. We are constantly working in the background, whether that be upgrading bots or monitoring the Discord, keeping the Twitter going. I myself, and I know Doolittle has also spoken to me about meeting with marketing mentors to see what all we can do to also make it easier for you guys to access and understand and learn about what we have to offer.
I would,
I do. Oh,
sorry
go
to
ahead.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. I would say at this point to assist in this, we are registering our link tree later this evening and tomorrow. So there will be a single point where all of the links will be in one place, publicly accessible, and that will become the official kind of like these are the official links. And also on Vox.energy, Vox.energy, that website, by after month three of the roadmap after the pre-distribution, you will see Vox.energy turn into this kind of like, I don't want to use the word metaverse because it's just overused, but it'll become a world, like a landing spot that connects all of the applications together. I mean, Vox.energy is eventually where your Vox hub will be, where you will be able to see where all your data is across the ecosystem. You'll be able to literally make these drag and drop decisions on where to put your data, where to move your data from, where to tag your data, how to tag your data, make it available for AI training systems, and also see how much you're earning from making your data available for AI training systems, or making your data available for ads revenue agencies, which we can plug into later on. But again, having direct control of that and also having the ability to turn it off and on and also exit the revenue that you have generated safely and securely.
I have one more question for you. And that is, to what extent is Vox decentralized? And I use that term very loosely. And how is decision making handled within the ecosystem? How do we ensure transparency, fairness, the whole nine?
Okay, so these are really two different things.
Sorry, one
Yeah.
second. Can I also jump in there because I did have my hand up, and it kind of chimes in with what Mrs. Hayes' question was. Another thing as well is, of course, we don't have an official DAO, but we do want community input. We would like to know how that we plan on going about that, how that would happen. Do you know what I mean? Do we have whales, having more decision making power because they hold more Vox tokens, etc.? If we could try to clarify that within Mrs. Hayes' question also, JB. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, month three, at the it was always the ambition that there would be the Vox Foundation, but not as a DAO, because the reality is DAOs will get shut down by the SEC in 5 minutes. So all of these projects which are, pumping their fists about, yeah, we got a DAO, yes, but that makes you technically a security as well. What we're actually doing is we're going to be registering an official foundation, as in the legal corporate entity of a foundation, and it would be registered in either Liechtenstein or the Cayman Islands. And the Vox Foundation, what does this mean? Basically, it is a legal formation that operates like a DAO effectively, but it is a legally recognized variant. It also holds an incredibly interesting status because a foundation is excluded and exempted from giving information about its internal operations and workings to governmental and corporate oversight. What does this mean? That basically means the SEC and other agencies cannot interrogate it, which makes it the safest option for this project, in fact, especially given that people in the crypto space do expect a level of anonymity, which does not exist with a DAO in any shape or form. Bear in mind, everybody needs to remember, the Vox digital platform asset is unlike anything else in the Solana or any kind of crypto ecosystem. We are a corporation. At this time, the Vox token, all of the applications and ecosystem is operated by a company, by Akuma Engineering, which is headquartered in Ireland. It's an EU registered company with an official status, with official tax and official employees. This is a very different beast to stereotypical crypto projects, which are largely based on whether or not a bunch of people can feel like they can trust each other at the time until somebody rugs everybody. We have we actually have legal responsibilities to do right by our community and by the people that we are potentially taking money off of. We also have a legal responsibility to the users of our ecosystem and platform. This is something that every other project dodges by not having an official corporate status. This is also the reason why the SEC is downing and is going to down so many projects, because they have no legal standing status and are ostensibly fraud at that point. We're not doing that. So in month 3, post pre-distribution, so that would be like what, Seb? So if pre-distribution is happening over this month or next month, that would be like November. We would be starting the road to a legally registered foundation. Now, I suppose the question everybody's asking is, why aren't you doing that before launching the project? Because it costs actually a lot of money to register a proper foundation. This is the reason why only rich people set up foundations, including presidents, because it's an expensive task. And we have earmarked for this out of the allocation for legal, which is 5% of allocation as well. So in that foundation, while the foundation is being formed, members of the community will be invited to join the foundation. My ambition would be ostensibly that all members of the community would be registered members of the foundation, which means it's not based on token holding. It's not based on whichever whale holds the biggest bag gets the biggest vote, because that's bullshit. It absolutely is. And it's re-centralization, and we will not do it. Everybody gets a vote. It's about parity. Everybody being equal under the same umbrella. There is no difference between you, me, or anybody else other than skill set. And that skill set is something that was acquired over time. You know? So, I mean, does that make sense to everybody? So to put it into bullet points, month 3, starting the formation of the Vox Foundation, which would be an official, registered, legal foundation entity, registered in either Liechtenstein or the Cayman Islands. And everybody in the community would be invited to join that foundation, which means everybody would have an equal and proportional voting right in the destiny and the future of this platform. It's gone very quiet. Oh, are you kidding me? What? And we get rugged. And this is, I mean, this just as while I was recording this, because, yeah, Twitter literally just rugged out.
He's gonna be following me around with a camera like a creep.
Hello?
No, no, officer, I swear I know this woman.
Hello? Did everybody get that? Because Twitter
Yeah,
just...
try to get back in one piece about having my little Hayes arrested. Thank you very much.
I'm
Oh,
a Catholic boy.
JB!
Ask Miss Hayes.
JB is back. JB is back. Let's see if we...
Hello? What happened there? It's like... I take it Elon Musk did not like me talking about this stuff, so he's just like, yeah, screw you, man, you're out. Yeah. Damn.
Not a fan.
What did people miss?
All of it really from the last question. But
Okay,
to
no,
refresh-
it's okay. I will give the bullet points. And by the way, just so everybody is aware, I've been recording this whole thing, as I said, via TikTok Live Studio, and I will be uploading that to our TikTok channel. And I just gave a really detailed explanation, but I'm going to give the bullet points again because I'm a glutton for punishment. Let's see if Elon screws me again. Okay, so in answer to your question, we are going to be forming an officially legally recognized foundation. The Vox Foundation will be registered in either Liechtenstein or the Cayman Islands. And the reason for this is because DAOs technically constitute a tokenized security offering. And this is the reason why actually DAOs, despite giving the impression of, yay, decentralization, we're all in it together, they actually hang a noose around your neck near immediately. A DAO is functionally a non-legally recognized foundation. This is the reason why every rich asshole has a foundation, including presidents. Bill Gates Foundation, you know what I'm saying? Now, if everybody's wondering, what makes a foundation so special? Well, basically, a foundation can operate exactly the same way as a DAO. The only difference being is that no corporate, legal, or government entity in the planet is allowed to interrogate them. Which means they cannot be interrogated for their user lists. Which is actually an interesting thing, because I noticed that loads of people in the crypto space go, crypto heads are all about anonymity, but then they all want to be openly doxxed and sign up to a DAO that the SEC automatically stick their dicks in. Not a good look. They should all be registering as actual foundations. Just to say, a foundation has a quasi-charity status. This is the reason why, as I said, why every rich asshole uses them. So on month 3 of our roadmap, by the way, again, this will be published. It's just taking me a minute to update everything. By month 3 of the pre-distribution, which I think would put us about November time, we will actually start the legal process to registering a foundation. Now, people are probably going to say, why aren't you already doing that at the start of the project? And the reason for that is because it's expensive registering a foundation legally. We're talking about tens of thousands in legal fees, which we have costed, and I will be coming out of the 5% allocation as part of the raise. This is the reason why it's going to be happening from month 3. Also, the process to registering a foundation is not quick. It is a time-consuming and lengthy process, and will probably take 3 to 4 months to finish off. And once it is done, we will be, as this foundation is being set up, in answer to your question, we are going to be inviting everybody to be a member of this foundation. So if you're thinking that being a crypto whale is going to give you a disproportionate control of the project, I'm really sorry, guys, and I'm probably shooting myself in the leg saying this, but the answer is no, it doesn't. Because where we're setting up a legally recognized foundation, everybody gets 1 vote. And this is enforced within the structure of a legally recognized foundation, right down to how when we have our meetings and how people vote. Everybody gets 1 vote. This is the fairest way of setting up a command structure for a crypto project, and I personally feel it is the one that is most ethically in alignment with what I feel is something a part of the culture that's being lost in crypto right now. Now, the culture of crypto was meant to have been about anonymity while working together in a zero trust environment, and that's largely being lost. It's largely being lost because people are greedy assholes. Let's be real. Not everybody. People are not really altruists, But what we're doing is we are actually going to be setting up a legally registered foundation, and everybody gets an equal vote. So the destiny of this project is not going to be based on bag holding. Sorry, people. If that's put anybody off buying my phases, I am really sorry. But this is not. It is about money, but it's not about that kind of way of getting money. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and it's actually pretty refreshing to hear that in this space. I wanted to take a chance to open the floor to anybody that wants to come up on stage, or anybody on stage now that has any questions for JB. I'm particularly going to call you out, Lil Hayes, because I know you had some grilling questions for JB.
Okay, lay it on me, Big Daddy.
He's running to his phone now.
Hi, this is Lil Hayes. Sorry, I'm sorry, Miss Hayes. I had to get my phone. Hi, JB.
Hi.
What's up, man? First off, I love hearing you speak about all of this because there's so much to hear, and it's so refreshing hearing the business side of stuff in Web3. Can you go into a little more of like the 3D project, because you made my ears tingle with that. That's something that I hold near and dear to my heart.
Okay, so for those of you who will be watching the recording when it comes out on TikTok, I'm actually displaying on my screen the spatial scan software. Check out spatialscan3d.com, basically. It's literally the Adobe Premiere of end-to-end video production for 3D. What does that mean? Well, most of us probably here have heard of Adobe Premiere. It is that piece of software that everybody hates to use, but everybody has to use because it's pretty much the only one that anybody knows how to use. And they kind of set the tone, really, in terms of interface design for video editing and stuff like that. And we have the 3D equivalency. Our software at Spatial Scan is the only software that integrates all of the workflow steps required for capturing 3D content and 3D live performances in one application, including a non-linear editor built in. Nobody else has that. People are coming close to it. DepthKit, our only direct competitor, who was recently acquired by EverCoast, will be introducing a non-linear editor, but they ain't got it yet. Oh, and by the way, they're still going to charge you $3,000 a month for it. Their entire financial model is based on charging you per user per set of sensor camera. This basically means for the average person to even do a basic indie production using DepthKit, it becomes a very expensive project. We're going to be selling this at $39.99 per month per user. No camera cap. This basically means there is no cap to the number of sensors you can plug into the software and use on a single computer. If you have a computer powerful enough to run 10 Connects, guess what? Our software will run the 10 Connects without charging you for more sensors. None of our other competitors are offering this. This is the reason why it has taken so long for the metaverse to take fire as a mainstream event. There's a reason why the Apple Vision Pro died on delivery. Why? Because there's no damned content. And if you want to build content for it, it's too damned expensive until now. And that's what this software does. This software is currently compatible with the Kinect DK and the Intel RealSense, but we are also adding more compatibility. We're adding compatibility to the Orbex sensor. We're adding compatibility to the Luxonis Oak D sensor. This software is being pivoted to becoming the most compatible piece of software for hardware in the 3D space available. It also natively exports to Unity, Unreal, and Premiere, and we're adding even more programs for direct export too. We're even adding the feature where you will be able to mint your 3D creations natively onto the Solana blockchain and prove sovereignty of that 3D object natively within the software. Any questions?
Oh my God, no! But first off, thank you for explaining all of that. That's amazing. The the application for that is actually kind of wild because 3D it's such a time-consuming thing, and so now I have to ask: this is something that will be able to you can like take the models and stuff, and then use like you'd be able to export into stuff like Blender and Cinema
Oh, dude,
4D and
no, no,
things
no, no,
like
no.
that.
You think, no, that's like, oh, come on, man. No, this is even better. This is basically means you could set up some Kinect sensors. You could record like your mate doing some kung fu and stuff, and that performance is already available as a 3D object, which can then be stored either as a watertight 3D mesh, which can then be imported into Unreal and Unity or even another game engine. Or you can import a pre-existing 3D scene, so your actors and actresses and people in your volumetric space will already be positioned exactly where they would need to be for the background plates. So this
Oh
is,
my God.
yeah, this is for,
Okay.
dude, this is proper studio production. We're giving
So
people the
basically,
ability to
you
turn their
can do
living
your
room into a
mocap.
studio. Yeah.
Wow. See, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So you can do motion capture at home. Oh my. Okay, now you've blown my mind even more. Wow.
Oh, yes. Now, the part of this is part because bear in mind, people, as I said, this token project is just one part of what we've been building. We acquired our European competitor earlier this year, EFEV. I bought them out. That's how we acquired this software. We've been rebranding it, and we've been tweaking it and improving it and upgrading it. And up to that point, I had been working with EFEV personally for 7 years while they were developing it and building it. So it kind of made sense that I would buy them out eventually. We're also on our second acquisition. We're actually acquiring a cryptography and encryption company in the post-quantum space. We are really serious about the long life of this project. This is the reason why we're acquiring technology in the space. Hell, we're even starting the discussions with a company that already holds EMI or electronic money institution licensing, because we will acquire the licensing that we need if necessary. You know?
Oh, JB, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to stop you there because I know you're getting passionate and you're giving Lil Hayes a rundown, but you have just given like 20 Easter eggs, and my mind is blown.
Shit, sorry. Whoops. But yeah, Mr. Lil Hayes, does that answer your question on the spatial scan software?
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I really have a soft spot for 3D. I work with a lot of 3D artists in Blender and stuff, and I'm literally going to tell them all about this because I think this is. I might not be smart enough to understand it, but my beautiful nerdy friends will geek out and be like, they'll talk to me like I'm 3, and I'll
Well,
be
here's the
mind
kicker.
blown
Here's the
again.
kicker for you. For everybody that you recommend, we will give them $5 per month trial licenses with unlimited access as a reduction from the $39.99 per month.
Ooh, very good to know. Yeah, this is really cool. Everything that Vox has got going on is all super interesting to me. So, thanks for
Oh,
taking some time
some
and explaining that.
something else to be remembered: the spatial scan software already has over 300 pre-existing clients all around the world, including UC Berkeley, UC Irvine, and a whole stack of other academic institutions and corporations as well. So it's out there. You know, it's not. This is not a untried, untested piece of kit. There is multiple patents which have been awarded sitting behind this technology, which we've been awarded. Again, this is another thing. We are constantly building new technology, which we will patent. Bear in mind another thing. Say, for example, I'll float you a hypothetical scenario, Lil Hayes. Imagine that members of the community help us to build a plugin that does something special within Spatial Scan that works in a particular way. When we file the patent, that patent will be shared with the Vox Foundation. Any other questions? Oh, bloody hell, I see the hands up. Yeah.
I think I'm good with questions. Thank you, JB. I appreciate it, man.
No problem, man.
All right. I sent out more mics. If nobody else has any questions, then I will go ahead and end us off with some music. If you do,
Sorry to interrupt. I got to do a shout out to Heracles. I just seen Heracles is here. What up, man? Damn, long time no hear. You sneaky mofo. You thought I wouldn't notice you there slide on in up in my armor, huh? Okay. Good showing, man. How's it going? I hope you're all good and all that. You should got to catch up sometime, dude. Sorry about that. Sorry to interrupt there. I'm back. Yeah, back over.
oh no, you're fine. I just sent Heracles a mic. I love that guy. Heracles is an OG. And if he's able to speak, by all means, he can feel free to come up and interrupt the music at any point in time. But yeah, if nobody else has any questions, then I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. If you do decide you do have one, hop up on stage. We'll pause it for you. But yeah.
I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to stop recording what I've been recording for TikTok, and I will start uploading it to the TikTok channel, so it will be made available, and then it will be shared across all socials, so that people have the, you get to basically stare at my face and stare at some of the screenshots, because I was sharing the tokenomics spreadsheet, pardon me, and some of our websites there as well. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, man. You know, and an extra 10 points if anybody can name why I've got a purple glow over me. Thanks, everybody.